So last month, the third-person action game Furi was made free for PlayStation Plus members. As I do with most free games, I booted it up just to get a general feel of whether I'd like it or not. Turns out, the combat felt so good, it began to scratch an itch I didn't even know I needed scratching, and made me think about my favorite combat systems from third-person action games. Keep in mind, this is not a list of best games, but rather my opinion on the best combat systems. Let's start with number 3! Because I haven't mentioned it enough on this channel, my number 3 would have to be Bloodborne. It took everything great about the Souls franchise and made it faster, more intense, and with a great risk-reward system known as the regain or rally mechanic. This means that every time you get hit, you have a short time frame during which you can counterattack and earn some of that damage back. It forces you to always be on the edge between retreat and recklessness, and every small exchange becomes an exercise in lightning-fast decision-making. Number 2. Devil May Cry 3: Dante's Awakening. Now, I actually loved the combat in DMC, the Devil May Cry reboot, but nothing frustrated me and yet filled me with so much joy as the style-switching combat in Dante's Awakening. What made DMC 3 so much better than the other games before it was the choice between 6 different gameplay styles. All style moves were relegated to the circle button, which would respond differently based on both the style you chose and the upgrades you had purchased. Whether you valued defense, melee combat, guns, or agility, with 2 other styles thrown in later, you could always find a different way to carve through demons. I especially enjoyed the Bloody Palace mode, which stripped away story and just focused on round after round of combat. And the game was freaking hard. That made it memorable too. Number 1. Ninja Gaiden for the original Xbox. Some may say that Ninja Gaiden's combat was refined in its sequels. To that, I would say stop with your shenanigans. Before it became overly complicated with the dismemberment system in Ninja Gaiden 2, or a technical mess with Ninja Gaiden 3, the original was fiendishly difficult, pun intended, and an absolute blast to play. The technical mastery and muscle memory required for domination in this game are second to none, and it still kicks my butt every time I pick it back up. While it can seem unfair with the speed at which it throws enemies at you, the required knowledge of split-second timing and invincibility frames is so incredibly rewarding when put to use. And while some of its weapons are more useless than others, you could take all of them but the original Dragon Sword out of the game and it would still be my favorite combat system of all time. And as a final knockout punch, you can upgrade a wooden sword to then be called Unlabored Flawlessness. Does it get better than that? Thank you guys so much for watching me make points you disagree with. Please leave those disagreements in the comments below, or tell me about your favorite combat systems at Ronnie_Barrier on Twitter. Also, you can check out my blog at barrier.tumblr.com for the rest of my ramblings. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next week.